Think about this for a minute. You get to go to the zoo, Zoo Knoxville, after the gates close at night. Well, the zoo is offering several programs where you can find out what that is like. We have Tina Rowland from Zoo Knoxville here to tell us more. It's always good to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, of course. We were talking about this morning and how cool it is. There are really 3 programs we're talking about: twilight tours, night safaris, and bedtimes with the beasts. So let's break down each of these.
Well, it really depends on how much, how late your bedtime is, first of all, because some of our animals, have early bedtimes and some have later bedtimes. But you can start out with a twilight tour, which is a 2-hour tour through the zoo. After the zoo's closed to the public, they're really fantastic private guided tours through the zoo, and you get to see what the animals do when there aren't people around. The other options are a 3-hour tour if you wanted to do something a little longer that went into when it starts to get dark and see what you can see. And then if you really wanted to go all the way, spend the night, we can accommodate that as well.
You can spend the night. Okay, Tina, here's the big question: where do we spend the night?
Well, it depends on where you decide you want to sleep. Often you can sleep, if you like, indoors in the venomous gallery in our amphibian and reptile conservation center with the king cobra and the puff adders and the rattlesnakes and the copperheads, all safely contained. But if you did want, something a little different, and then we have groups that have opted to sleep outside under under our treehouse with the tigers and the gibbons and the langurs.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is.
Wow. Okay, who are these programs available to?
Well, we really, they're all ages, really ideally, ages 6 and up, but they're perfect if you have a school group or a scout group or a church group or just a group of neighborhood. Like, I know in my neighborhood we've got a lot of families that like to do things together. You just need a group of 10 or more, and you can go up to 75 people for some of the larger events. And you just give us a call and we'll talk you through what you would need to do. And especially if you spend the night, you'll have a safari before you go to bed, some activities, and then when you wake up in the morning, go have a walk about before the zookeepers even come in.
That is so neat.
It's really fun.
And you brought up something earlier before we came on, the sloth. If you go to the zoo and you're like, I want to see the sloth, I want to see Joe the sloth, Joe is up and about at night.
He's a nighttime guy, and that's when he's the most active. So if you're in the Ark, that's where Joe happens to live too. But they do make a point to go through there. Even if you do the twilight tour or the night safari and don't want to spend the night, they do go through those areas to see what's happening with Joe too. So he's a pretty fun, popular guy.
Oh, so fun! All right, where can people make their reservation? What do they need to do?
Just go to our website, zooknoxville.org. Go into our activities, and there's a link that will take you to a form you can send to us, and we can work on scheduling with your calendar and what works and how many people you have in your party, and talk you through what kind of theme you might be looking for your experience.
I haven't spent the night, but I did do a tour. I've got to tell you, it's a lot of fun, those after-hours tours. It's a whole different experience.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It truly is.
Yeah.
It truly is. And it's cooler this time of year. If it's a little too hot to be out during the day, it's a perfect way to experience the zoo, but really have that private, personal touch to it.
Love it. Tina, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.